Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
I felt the weight of this man's choice.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting charged with malpractice, not charged, but named with malpractice. And it devastated me. And there was a whole lot of life situations, moving, getting married, all sorts of things were going on. And so I had to start over.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice in business, you're in the right place. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, empowerment coach, visibility and marketing expert, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. Hi, Diane. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Marta. So excited.
I know, me too. So quick background story. I connected with Diane years ago. She's one of my fellow former tribe members, Stu McLaren's membership experience. We connected there, and we've been connected on Facebook for ages. Because did you do the 2020 as well? Was that your first year, or were you alumni?
I think that was my first year. I've done it twice. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we were both in the same boat there. And then recently we joined the same mastermind under Cody Birch, who's been here on the show as well. And I always talk about him. He's awesome. And then we started working together to apply to TEDx. So she decided to apply to the same TEDx that I spoke for. We worked together on the application, and it was amazing to learn more about your story. So I'm super excited to have all my listeners hear about the amazing Diane. So tell us who you are and what you do, and we'll get this party started.
Yay. Yes. I'm so glad that we're doing this because, we've been connected for a long time. And now we're like this. Mm-hmm. So I'm Diane Cunningham Ellis, and I am a former counselor, coach, author of 11 books. I run a mastermind called Braver Together Mastermind. I have 10 years of recovery. Yay. Mm-hmm. And I have survived a plane crash and now getting hit by a semi truck.
Goodness.
And so, we have lots to talk about being empowered, right?
Yes, 100%. Well, I want to start with Brave, because that is what we worked on together for the TEDx idea for your application. And I really love it. I was actually thinking about it the other day for my wellness journey. And, it's one day at a time, but you have a different proposition. So tell us more. Start wherever you want, and we'll see.
Yeah. So thank you so much also for being my TEDx coach. Mm-hmm. So I believe in Brave. I've been talking about Brave all these years. And so what I believe is that it's more than just one day at a time. It's one Brave at a time. And so throughout each day, we have these little decision points. And it can be as simple as saying something to your husband or not saying something to your husband. It could be that you need to finally make that phone call that you keep avoiding who knows what that is? Could be a health situation, a financial situation, or it could be being brave enough to put down the booze, or put down whatever you're using to cope. Could be the phone. Could be Candy Crush. I don't know. We all use Amazon, and we use use a lot of things to kind of hide from our feelings. And I believe that the antidote, the remedy, is to choose Brave, and that it is just one Brave at a time. And sometimes I'm not going to do it because I'm, Miss Scaredy Pants. But more often than not, I believe Brave is a muscle, and that I have that on my wall, Flex Your Brave. Why? Because every Brave begets Brave, right? The more I do it, and the more I help my clients do it, just like you, applying for TEDx was a Brave.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm going to get in, but if I don't get into that one, guess what? I'm primed and ready to go to the next one. And it was Brave just to do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, 100%. And that's one of the things I tell clients all the time, especially when it comes to TEDx, is that, we don't know if it's going to happen now. That was my journey too. I applied several times until it actually happened.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, it was when it was meant to happen and it worked out the best way possible. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't start now,
Right.
right? Start now to get prepared, to understand the format. And oftentimes that's how it is with everything in life, is like we keep pushing it off because of that fear of failure. But the sooner we get started with it and keep choosing that brave, I love that you call it a muscle, because it is so true. It's all a matter of practice. And we see this all across life, right? In our relationships or with our kids, with ourselves, with our business. So I'd love to hear more about how you support women entrepreneurs to choose brave in their business so that they can grow and increase their impact too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I do that with, just like you, private coaching, and then the groups and the challenges and all the things, right? We do a lot. You and I are so similar. We run all over the place because we love to create things. So yeah, I love helping them, whether it's writing a book, writing their first book, or creating, like one of my clients is hosting a retreat this weekend.
Nice.
And so, yeah, whether it's a workshop, a retreat, a book, your first 5-day challenge, helping them to realize they don't need one more mini workshop, right? They probably, a lot of my clients get stuck in research and overthinking and perfectionism. And like I learned by going out to do it, right? Very much hands-on. And I mean, I always talk about, we have to get from our head to our heart, actually down to our hands. I mean, I need to be doing the things.
Oh my goodness. I know that is the hardest thing for sure. And this is what I notice a lot with clients. It's the lag between concept and actual action taking. And it goes back to that being brave, right? We extrapolate things and we make the action look like a monster. Because then it justifies us not doing the action. It is a monster after all.
Exactly.
But if we reframe that and look at it from a different perspective, or just choose the brave, that helps a lot. Tell us more how your background and the different things you've gone through have shaped the coaching that you do right now. Because especially knowing the backstory more because of the TEDx application, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this makes such a difference in, choosing which coach I'm going with or who I want to be mentored by, is understanding their vulnerability and their life story. And so I am just super proud of you and super amazed by you with everything that you have gone through. So tell us more.
Yeah. So I was a former counselor, and I got my master's degree in counseling, loved it, worked for 5 years at a hospital in all the different departments, EAP and addictions, which is funny now. But yeah, I had a client that chose to kill himself. And that was June 2nd, 1999, a day I'll never, ever forget. But the ramifications of that lasted 4 years. I was sued a year later by his wife. I went through this giant legal battle for 3.5 years, and really was fighting for my career. And it really broke me, Marta. I mean, I struggled a lot because I felt the weight of this man's choice.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting charged with malpractice, not charged, but named with malpractice. And it devastated me. And there was a whole lot of life situations, moving, getting married, all sorts of things were going on. And so I had to start over. Without being able to work in my chosen profession, with still having all of these student loans, still had the student loans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And had to really start over. And there was a time there where we had just moved to a new state, and I tried to get a job in my field, and I applied for 60 jobs. 60. And one of the worst days of all was when I was applying for a job at Target. I mean, nothing against it, but that's not what I was called to do.
Yeah.
And so really began to rebuild my life in the coaching realm. bit by bit, day by day, client by client. And it's led to 25 years of being a coach / former counselor. And I don't believe anything's wasted. I don't believe anything's wasted in God's economy, in my journey, in our story. And I know each and every one of my clients, I get to bring all of that trauma that has turned into a testimony, and bring my coaching skills, my counseling skills, and help them. And a lot of times we have to, yes, they want to know the strategy, but sometimes they need to talk about whatever just happened that's affecting how they feel about themselves. Yeah. So yeah, it's been quite the journey.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. And I love what you said, that nothing's wasted. The biggest gift I think we can give ourselves is to look at our journey, the good, the not so great, the bad, and realize this is fulfilling a purpose in my future and in what I can bring to the world and in what I can do. Right. I have a saying with friends of mine and my sister too, whenever I'm going through a rough time, we're like, what's the lesson? Obviously, you don't want to look for the lesson as you're still, super wounded, and it's super like trying to find purpose right away. Feel the feelings. Don't ignore the feelings you were just talking about. We have all these coping mechanisms to avoid our feelings. Make sure you do feel the feelings. But then the next step is, how can I use this to help myself, to help somebody else? And that's what you've been doing for almost 25 years. That is incredible. Talk about perseverance and in building something amazing, supporting your clients. So I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I said the other day on a post, I said, I'm a professional pivoter. And I thought, that's really good. It's true. I had to pivot. And, another part of my story is when I got sober. And so I hit rock bottom with that in 2013. And that will be that will be woven in the TED Talk. But it was just another one of those, I believe we have these defining moments.
Yeah.
And they are, you can either stay stuck, or you can go get the help, you need, so that then you can go grab somebody else's hand that needs help too.
Right.
That's our job. That's my mission. That's my purpose. The sooner I can get the healing, get the support, get the whatever I need to come back to center, then I can transform even just one person's life, but more than that, thousands, hundreds of other lives.
Yeah, we're talking about big impact here. I love it. Well, you said you work with clients one-on-one. You have different ways of engaging with women. I do want to get into more detail with that. But a question that I heard in the networking group the other day that I really liked is, who's your favorite client? Describe the one person that you're like, oh my gosh, I want 10 of you, 10x you. That it's your person.
Yeah. She came to mind right away. I have a lot of favorites. I bet you do too. But this is a woman who is running a company. She does more corporate training. And she came back to me about last November out of the blue. We had met at a networking speaking event in Colorado. Ooh, I'm not kidding, 10 years ago. And so she reached back out and said, hey, I've been thinking about you to be my coach. So we had one conversation that was life-changing, and then she hired me. And so since then, she had an idea of a book. Her book's almost ready to come out. Yes. We talk on Voxer, we do Zoom. She is magnificent. I'm so proud of her. And honestly, in dollar amount, she's way more successful than me. But you know what? We've actually talked about that numerous times. And she's like, I didn't hire you for that. I hired you because of who you are. And I'm like, that is so cool. That is so cool. And so we learn a lot from each other, and it's been really great. And yes, I would like 5 to 10 more of her.
That is so powerful, and something for us to keep in mind for several reasons. For one, to not keep ourselves small and thinking this person would never hire me because they're making more money than me, they're more successful than me, right? And also to attract these people too that admire us for who we are, for our life story, right?
Yeah.
For the things that we have overcome. That you're right. Like, it's just so humbling and also flattering to have somebody that you admire come to you and say, I need your help. I want you to coach me, like that. Oh my gosh, that's a career moment.
It really was, and it still is. And I just think, wow, what a beautiful story. And she just signed up for this other coaching program, and she said, Diane, I need you too. It's a very different format. But I was like, uh-oh, is she running off? But she said, no, I'm learning something different over there with this program, this group, just like you and I. I mean, we have different, I'm in a couple masterminds, but I need a private coaching too with you specifically about certain things.
Yeah. And this is huge, I think, sign of growth when we're able to understand for ourselves that we can work with different mentors for different reasons. And when service providers ourselves, we can understand when our clients benefit from other people's guidance as well. I have clients that have hired each other, and then decided to not go with me for a certain thing. And in the past, I mean, it stings at times depending on the situation, I'm not going to lie. But I feel like I have grown so much to the point of being like, I'm so glad that you're getting what you need, because I can't provide that. And I honor that because there are other people that are at a stage where they need me right now. And it's just, that's when you know that you're really wanting to serve. It's not just about the money or the wounded ego. It's like, great, I'm glad somebody is getting you unstuck, because if I haven't been able to do the job, then please find somebody.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love that because, there's coaches I've worked with in the past, and, we were together 3 years or something. And then it was time for me to fly free. And not that I'm ever going to go back there again. But I believe that coaches come into our life for a season. Sometimes it's just a one-time workshop, right? But I know that person's there when I'm ready to do something more with them. It's really cool.
It is. It's really nice. Well, and now being in this mastermind with you, I get like front seat of the behind the scenes of knowing when you're launching things, what you're thinking about. So give us the scoop on what you got going on now. So when people, hear this episode and they're like, oh my gosh, you sound like an amazing person, I want to take this a step further. Give us all the deets.
Yeah. So one of my main programs is my mastermind. I'm in one, but I have one. I've been hosting a mastermind since 2015. So it's called Braver Together Mastermind. I'm excited about it. It's beautiful. And depending on when you listen to this, we're going to Waco, where all the women in the whole world want to go, Waco, Texas, which is not that great, people, but we're going there We're going there. That's where we're going to have our 2.5-day live event this September. And then I've really been loving, I have the private coaching, like I already mentioned, but I have a lot of clients that are just doing Voxer coaching. Voxer only for a month. I've done Voxer days, weeks, months, and really just allowing that to be very expansive. And then I have some women that are in like just Voxer maintenance. They've already done a lot of work with me, so we're on just a maintenance program. So those are just some of the main things. Of course, behind the scenes, like we all are, I'm working on some more books and another 5-day challenge. And I think you're very similar. I can't stop creating new things. And I have to go, okay, wait a minute. Am I just a nuthead, or is this just, this is good? And learning more about the human design and the personalities and, my Enneagram. It's like, it's just who you are. So stop trying to make it weird.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So true. Stop trying to make yourself wrong. I say the only thing that makes us wrong is when we don't really know who we are. And then you're trying to be someone else. That's the only thing. Other than that, just own it, embrace it, and I'm right with you. Enneagram, human design, all these things have helped me so much, to the point where now when people ask me in interviews or whatever, like, Marta, you're so determined or whatever, Where did you get this from? Who was your inspiration? And sure, I have inspiration. My mom is a big role model, has been a big role model for me. But I've been starting to say, it's just who I am. This is who I am. And if you look into my human design, everything else, it's there. It explains, like, I was born to be this person. I am stepping in my own shoes more and more. And this is what the world gets and benefits from. And I can't be all. So that's why you have Diane and you have these other people that can fulfill these other roles that I can't. So I love that.
Me too.
Okay. Well, before I have you tell us how to find you, I have $1 million question that I like to ask at the end of the episodes. Are you ready?
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Okay. Diane, what is an empowered woman?
Oh, okay. An empowered woman is bravely walking out into the world, understanding her strengths, gifts, talents, and abilities, and flexing those brave muscles each and every day by showing the world who she really is.
Oh, so good. She is brave. That is for sure. An empowered woman has to be brave.
And your book is fantastic, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. How can we find you?
You can just find me right there, DianeCunningham.com. Yeah, DianeCunningham.com. And I'm on the Facebook, all the places. We're all over the place, but that's the main hub. And I would love to see you over there. You'll see the word brave a lot of times.
Amazing. Well, I'll make sure I put that in the show notes. Thank you so much for sharing with us. This was lovely.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.